Let's be honest, AI is getting so good now, you could probably hand the tools to a chimp and they'd still whip up something amazing. But the real challenge is combining the right AI tools and platforms to nail a specific style and composition, and then going the extra step by putting yourself into those worlds. Anyone can spit out some cool AI art of a random guy or girl, but can you capture a true likeness of a real person and achieve character consistency? And then drop this person into a jaw-dropping environment or even an impossible situation. That's what I'm diving into today. And stick with me, because at the end of the video, I'm going to show you how you can animate these images for completely free. And this is with some of the best AI tools like Kling or Google VO3, using a method that no one's really talking about yet. I'm Jack. I've been a VFX artist in the advertising industry for over a decade now, and I've worked for many of the biggest brands on the planet. As a way of expanding my skill set and preparing myself for this new AI-driven world that we're going into, I've been training myself with image and video generation. And today I'm revealing my full workflow for how I create stunning AI content where I'm the main character. We'll build out two very different examples, one very cinematic and a little surreal as well, the other grounded, realistic, and believable. By the end of the video, you'll know exactly how to do this yourself, and you'll pick up a whole bunch of tips and tricks along the way. So of course, if you do enjoy today's content, make sure to hit the like button, consider subscribing, and of course, ring that bell notification icon. Let's get straight into it. So we're going to start with the more cinematic and surreal approach, which is my personal favorite. You might already have an idea in your head, but for me, we're just going into this completely blank. So we need to find a source of inspiration. And what I find really great is to just go onto Google and type something like the most visually striking movies. And I mean, straight away, the list is comprised of A Space Odyssey by Stanley Kubrick, Blade Runner, Mad Max Fury Road, Spirited Away, The Revenant, Gravity, 1917. The one that I'm kind of drawn towards is Avatar. And so we'll use that as our jumping off point. And what I've done in the past is I've typed in the name of the movie and then headed over to the IMDb page. And from here, we can go to images. And of course, what we're really looking for is a scene that we can put ourselves into, or just use as that kind of inspirational jumping off point. And I'm immediately drawn to this image here. I like this idea of kind of bioluminescence in nature and the color palette that's being used. And let's just say I want to look at some more images like this of this particular scene. We'll just type in Avatar. I'm not sure what they're called. They're kind of like glowing jellyfish things, aren't they? And just straight away on Google Images, we've got a whole load more scenes. So they're called wood sprites, apparently. So let's just type in what they actually are. And I do really like this image here. So I think we're going to go along with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this image first of all, and then we're going to open up ChatGPT. Now, really, you can use any LLM that you want. You could use Gemini, you could use Grok, but these will really serve as our creative assistant. And I think this is one of the most useful ways that you can use a platform like ChatGPT. So we're going to add in the image that we just saved, and we're going to ask ChatGPT to write me a prompt for Midjourney, which describes the scene in this image. So it said, a tall, blue-skinned humanoid alien with feline features, glowing yellow eyes, and bioluminescent markings, standing in a lush alien jungle at night, holding out arms as glowing white jellyfish-like seeds float around them, surrounded by vibrant bioluminescent plants. A second blue-skinned alien in the background, cinematic lighting, high detail, ultra-realistic 8K. So I'm just going to say something like, can you expand on the prompt a little, talking more about the color palette and lens type? And here you can see it's just added on this at the end. The jungle glows with rich neon hues, deep cobalt blues, purples and emerald greens. Shot with a wide aperture anamorphic cinema lens for a shallow depth of field and subtle lens flares. So whilst this isn't perfect, it's a great starting point for the prompts that we're going to be engineering. And what I like to do is just to create a new text document, and we'll just call this Midjourney prompt. You'll notice I am terrible at typing with this keyboard because I'm not really used to it. Just ignore that. And we'll take this prompt and copy and paste it into our blank text document. And we're now going to tweak this to work with ourselves as the main character. So really we need to remove this first portion, a tall blue-skinned humanoid alien. So we'll just get rid of that. But the standing in a glowing alien jungle at night, that's still cool. Add some context. And what I have on my Google Drive is this document just called AI prompts, and it has a lot of descriptions of myself, which I also got ChatGPT to write, by the way, just by uploading a selfie of myself. You might not struggle with this, but I can find it quite hard to look at even an image of myself or the image that we took from Avatar and effectively describe it in a way that it will function well for a prompt. And that for me is where ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, they come in really handy. So what we'll do is we'll start the prompt with a bearded man standing in a glowing alien jungle at night. And then we've got behind them another blue-skinned alien which is half shrouded in shadow. So we don't want that. We want this to just feature us. So I'm just going to split this up a little bit because this portion here describes our surroundings. And then at the end here, we have a description of the style that we're after. In between the two, I'm going to put a very clear description of myself. And on this Google Doc, I have a very long, detailed description of myself and then a kind of more shorter one as well. So we'll just drop this in here and we'll just tweak it a little bit to say the bearded man is in his early 30s, light skin with a warm undertone, faint natural freckles across the nose. He has a short, well-groomed dark brown beard and mustache. The man has short brown hair with a buzz-cut hairstyle, mostly hidden under a dark grey baseball cap, worn backwards. He wears thin gold wireframe glasses with rounded rectangular lenses and has dark brown eyes. So kind of sandwiched in the middle, we have a very clear description of what we want our character to look like. Very important if you do wear things like a hat and glasses that you include that in your prompt. And I'm just going to add a little bit more description here. The bearded man is reaching out to touch one of the jellyfish-like seeds. He has an expression of wonder. So we're just being very clear with any action we want our character to be taking, but also the expression that he has as well. So we can start piecing back together our prompts. And I'll often add this little passage at the end of any prompts that I write. You can see I've titled it Additional Realism to put at the end of the prompt. Some of that will be covered in this already, but I'm just going to chuck it in anyway. It just says photo real, ultra detailed skin texture, visible pores, cinematic composition, harsh shadows. And with that, I think our prompt is ready for Midjourney. So let's head on over to my personal favorite AI art generator. Now, if you're after complete photorealism, Midjourney might not be the platform for you. However, the style of compositions it produces are incredibly striking and very cinematic. Midjourney just has its own very unique vibe. A lot of people say it's kind of dreamlike. It has that quality to it. So if that's what you're after, this is the platform you should be using. So if we just head over to my Create tab, you can see all sorts of cool stuff that I've made in the past. I absolutely adore Midjourney. You can really get some incredible images out of this platform. It's worth the money in my book. And I think it's time to create our prompt. So what we're going to do first of all is just go ahead and copy and paste the one that we've just been working on together. We'll just drop that straight in the top here. And if we go to this little plus symbol, I have almost like a character sheet of myself, which I'm going to drag and drop into the Omni reference section. And we want to make sure that the Omni strength is around 100. I'll just show you this character sheet that I have of myself in a little bit more detail. It's just a few different images from different angles. I'm wearing the same outfit pretty much that I'm wearing now. You can see all of my facial features very clearly. There's neutral expressions. There's one of me kind of smiling. There's indoor lighting and outdoor natural lighting as well. So it should work well as an Omni reference. And we'll just check these parameters as well. I want it to be on 16:9 so that we can easily animate it as a video. Now, in terms of the model, you have the option to do standard and raw. Raw is a lot more grounded, but like I said before, we're not really using Midjourney to try to achieve that today. We really want it to have free reign and create a really visually striking image. Generally, I put my stylization on 100 and weirdness is at 0, I think that is. Yep, and variety is also on 0 as well. Of course, you can experiment with all of these different parameters in terms of aesthetics, but I think we're happy to go. So let's hit send. The exciting thing is you never quite know what it is that you're going to get back, but it should give us something pretty cool. Looking quite cartoony at the minute. I'm hoping we're going to fall more into a photorealistic realm as the images finish up. Yeah, so it has got this kind of animated feel. I do love the compositions, but it's not feeling real enough for me yet. So we're going to run the same prompt again. I'm just going to check this through to make sure there's nothing there that's going to be adding like an animated vibe. So the prompt itself is all sounding good. I'm going to swap in a different Omni reference just to see if that helps. It's just one of these selfies, but in a little bit more detail. Just the one image itself and at a higher resolution. Again, we'll leave the Omni strength on 100. And because I'm happy with my prompt, it definitely emphasizes photorealism. We're just going to run this one more time. And this for me is the downside to Midjourney. Even though I love these images, I think they look really cool. And they do look like me in a kind of animated Pixar style. It's not what we're after. Sometimes it is a trial and error process when it comes to Midjourney. But if you stick with it, you can get some really incredible stuff out of this tool. And it feels already to me, we're 70% of the way there, that these images are a little bit more realistic than what we had on the last run. Now, a couple of these I do actually really like. I think this one here is looking pretty cool, but I think for me, this one wins because it feels the most like me and also a little bit more realistic than the others. So we're going to go ahead and upscale this using the subtle setting. And this is going to be the image that we work with to animate. There we have it. Let's just get this downloaded and take a proper look at what we have created. I think this is looking really great. It's very visually striking. There's going to be a lot of potential when we do come around to animating this. What I might do once we have the AI generated video of it, just add like a layer of film grain to just put in a little bit more texture. But other than that, this is exactly what we're after. It looks like me. It feels surreal, a little bit more cinematic, and very visually striking. So now we're going to be getting into creating a more grounded and realistic image. And once again, we want to draw some inspiration. So I found this image from a Carhartt campaign. Carhartt are one of my favorite brands. When they produce their lookbooks, they contain a lot of really amazing photography. So this is what we're going to use to generate our prompt essentially. So once again, I'm going to head over to ChatGPT and I'm going to upload this photo. And we can just grab the same prompt that we used at the start, even though we're not using Midjourney. Now we're going to be using Higgsfield, which is the go-to if you want to create really realistic images of yourself that have an almost complete likeness. You can get some incredible results from this. And the prompt we've got back from ChatGPT is a man in profile with his head bowed, wearing a loose blue denim Carhartt jacket, silhouetted against a moody teal grey sky. His face is partially obscured in shadow, with faint rim light highlighting the edges of his hair and jacket. The scene is viewed through a cracked glass pane with sharp spiderweb fractures catching the light and creating jagged reflections. Cinematic lighting, dramatic and melancholic atmosphere, desaturated teal and deep shadow color palette, shallow depth of field, ultra realistic photography, 85mm lens, high contrast, moody portrait. With the other prompt where I was trying to get more from ChatGPT, it's already applied that thinking to this new prompt. So this is a great basis for us. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to paste it into our blank text document. And we'll just start with a bearded man instead. And I'm going to change up the clothes as well. So I'm going to say wearing a plain oversized white t-shirt. I'm going to tweak this a little bit as well to say highlighting the edges of his hat and t-shirt. And once again, what we want to do is grab our description of myself. I think we can use the brief one again. So we'll just drop that in at the end. That's just going to clarify to Higgsfield exactly how I look and also that I'm wearing my hat and glasses. Very important. And I'm just going to add in a little bit of this prompt, the ultra detailed skin texture and visible pores. I'm just going to put that in there before 8K. So we'll copy and paste this. We'll go across to Higgsfield to create the image. Just remove the prompt that's in there at the minute, and you can see some really amazing results that I've already got using this tool. The likeness is insane. Basically what you do, if you go to character at the top here, is you upload a whole bunch of images of yourself from different angles, wearing different clothes, different lighting and stuff, and it will actually build a model based on your character. You're training the software to recreate your own image. And if you want those ultra realistic results, Higgsfield using their soul model is the way to go. So we'll copy and paste in our new prompt. We'll select the soul model, of course, for ultra realistic fashion visuals. 16:9 again. We'll use the high quality, and you want to make sure you turn your prompt enhance off. We don't want to give Higgsfield any leeway to mess around with how we've written our prompts, because we spent a lot of time making sure that it's exactly what we want. For the character model, of course, I'm going to be using me. And for the visual style, I'd suggest you guys stick to either general or realistic. I'm going to use general. A lot of these visual styles actually come along and really mess with your prompt, so be very aware. Things like Mount Fuji will literally put you outside of Mount Fuji, stick you into this image, which you might not want. You might assume it just takes that aesthetic and applies it to your prompt, but no, it's quite heavy-handed. So stick with general or realistic would be my advice. But let's go ahead and generate this image. And here we have our result from Higgsfield. I mean, that is literally me. It's literally me. This one here is a little strange. Kind of the so I would say the same for this one, but that looks really like me as well. And this one here is really cool too. It's created some really amazing stuff for us here, and the cracked glass looks great. Now you may have noticed that with both Midjourney and Higgsfield, sometimes it just doesn't want to put your cap on backwards. It can just be the process of trial and error. I don't actually mind, you know, I do wear my cap facing forwards as well. I think the results we've got here are really great. And I think we're going to go ahead and download this one. And here is our image in full screen. It looks really, really good. And of course, I promise you guys, I'm going to be showing you a free way to animate both of these images to really bring them to life. So we're going to get into that now. Before we do, if you have enjoyed today's video, guys, please make sure to whack a like on there for me. If you're new, consider subscribing, and of course, ring that bell notification icon as well. So how am I going to animate these images for free? Well, I'm actually part of a Discord, and you can join it for free as well, called LM Arena. And this does come with some caveats, but when I say you can use tools like Kling and VO3 completely for free, I really do mean it. Now, the whole point of this Discord channel is users will input their AI generated images. They will then input a prompt and it will generate them an AI video using various different tools. You can see users generating videos right now in real time. And the whole point of this is that you actually vote on the first or second generation. You don't actually know until the generation has received enough votes which models were used to achieve the first and second. But that is why this Discord channel exists. It's basically collating all of this different data to try to work out which are the best AI video generators. But really, we're just using it to get free AI videos. I would suggest that you jump on there and cast some votes as well. It is actually quite fun and pretty interesting, but of course, you're then contributing to the community. So we'll do a slash and we'll go image to video. And I think for starters, we'll drag and drop in our image of the avatar inspired jellyfish prompt. And there's a little section down here where we can type our prompt. And I'm probably just going to keep it quite simple. We'll just go, the bearded man reaches out to the floating, glowing jellyfish. He has a look of wonder as the jellyfish gently bob up and down in the air. The neon plants surrounding him gently sway. The camera very slowly zooms in. We'll hit return. And now we wait. As you can see here, it just says generating videos. This can take up to 10 minutes. We'll notify you when they're done. And of course, I will post the link to this Discord in the description down below. As of the time of recording, anyone is able to join. If that has changed, do let me know down below and I'll add a pinned comment or something. But once you're part of the Discord, you just need to jump into one of these channels, Video Arena 1, 2, 3, and then you can input your images, add a prompt and hit return. And I believe you're able to generate 8 times a day. And of course, every time you do that, it gives you 2 different options. Because you don't know which model you're going to get, it's a bit like a lucky dip. You may get some good results and you'll also get some pretty bad results as well. But the really great thing is, once we get our generations back, if we like anything that we see, we're then able to download them for free. And just like that, we have our results. So let's take a look. Our first generation looks really, really great. Very happy with that. We'll just go ahead and get that downloaded. You'll see when you click download, it opens up your web browser to perform the download. Not really sure how that works, but just let it do its thing. Let's look at the second generation. So you can see here, we've got a little bit more unlucky. This is using quite a poor model. You want to cast your vote, so we'll say left is better. And I think one more person needs to cast a vote and then it will reveal which models we used to create which generation. But let's take another look at the one that we liked. Let's make this full screen and we will go ahead and loop it as well. And this looks really, really great. I'd love to put some film grain on top as well, just to sell that realism. You'll see at the end as well, you'll get this pop up too, just to kind of plug the Discord. But if you guys want to use this for content creation or whatever, just trim the end off and then you can use it however you want. And we have to go ahead and animate our more realistic image as well, I think. So we'll just drag and drop that in here. And again, we'll start to write a prompt. The bearded man stares confidently at the camera. He then turns away. Subtle handheld device movement. Analog film grain. And let's see what we get back from this. And actually, it turns out somebody has now cast their vote. So you need 2 votes to reveal which video models were used. And it turns out that VO3 was used to create that really good result we had. And the more poor result was created using Pika V2.2. And we have our more realistic generations that have just come through now. Let's take a look. First one here. This is looking really great. Yeah, wow. It literally could be me. That is insanely good. The hair texture on the back of my neck. Wow. Let's get that downloaded straight away. And let's look at the second one. Were we lucky again or a bit more unlucky? Whoa. That one was a bit weird. We have to watch that again. It's like I'm on one of those turnstiles or something. Very strange. Think we might give that one a miss in terms of downloading it. But let's take a look at the good result we got, full screen, and we will repeat this. Looks really, really great to me. You could definitely use this for a variety of use cases. Yeah, wow. To get this level of AI video generation completely for free is insane in my book. But there you go, guys. I really hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions at all, make sure to drop them below in the comment section and I'll do my very best to reply to every single one. I'll catch you guys on the next video.